Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
Hello, welcome back to Victory Drive, everybody. This episode, I have Joe Williams back in, and it's kind of just a continuation of last week's conversation. Last week, we talked a lot about politics and attempted Trump assassination and some gun rights stuff and all that. This week, it's the same conversation, but we shifted gears so dramatically after we took a piss break that I decided to just make it 2 episodes because it just seemed like it would work best that way. So this is just a continuation of last week's conversation, and we talk quite a bit about like some war stories. For whatever that's worth, we go over Joe's background a little bit more, and then talk about like our deployment to Afghanistan a little bit more, and all that good stuff, and kind of get Joe's point of view on a lot of missions that we were on together. And we really, what was really interesting coming out of this conversation is that we kind of saw like how 2 different people see the same experiences, if that makes sense. So one really interesting thing about it is just like we were both on the same a lot of the same missions, and just how our brains were working at the time and how we processed the things that we did overseas and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's just a lot. Same conversation, just dramatically shifted gears. So decided to make it 2 episodes, and this is part 2, I guess. I don't even like calling it part 2 because it's not a direct continuation. We shifted subjects so much that it's just its own separate episode. But Joe Williams back at it again, and he's like one of my best friends. He's a super solid guy. He's he's got a lot of interesting takes and viewpoints, and he can articulate things pretty damn well too. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. It was fun to sit down and kind of catch up with an old friend, an old Army buddy like that, and kind of go over some things. So, yep, hope you guys enjoy it. It's going to be a good one. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Grizzly Coolers. Everyone knows Grizzly Coolers for their hard-sided coolers, and their coolers in general. I mean, it's Grizzly Coolers, it's the name, so kind of makes sense why that would be something that you would know Grizzly about. But this week, I do want to talk about their hunting blinds because it's, late January, holy shit, Jake, late July now. So everyone's kind of starting to shift gears. Some deer out there starting to put some headgear on, and things are getting kind of exciting now. So everyone's getting kind of looking into deer hunting. I know I am. So I want to talk about Grizzly Coolers because if there's any time to get a new hunting blind, it's now. Get that fucker out there, get it set up, and get the deer kind of used to seeing it out there. So we're going to talk about the Grizzly hunting blind. It's called the Alpha Combo Hunting Blind, and it MSRPs for about $4,000, $3,995 to $4,544. So about $400 to $4,500, we'll say it MSRPs at. And it comes in a variety of different colors. It comes in like an OD type green, a lighter tan, a darker tan, and a blaze orange. So if you're out there gun hunting and you're worried about the orange laws with hunting blinds and stuff, you can get yourself a fully orange Grizzly blind and take care of that nonsense law for you with blaze orange on your hunting blind and all that. So it's a really, really nice looking blind. It's I've sat in them a couple times, and they are very nice, very, very quiet. Every square inch of that Grizzly hunting blind has been roto molded, just like their coolers and stuff. So it's been thought through. There's very well thought out window placements, and the way the windows work are stealthy quiet. And you can just tell, like when you sit in it, you're like, okay, this was kind of made by hunters, so other hunters definitely helped design this hunting blind. So everything that's in there makes sense. And it's just a really good, solid hunting blind. And as a matter of fact, it comes with a lifetime guarantee. So instead of buying a different hunting blind that you're scared is going to blow over in the wind and get destroyed or something like that, you don't really have to worry about that with this blind, because for one, it's not going to get blown over because it is heavier than fuck. And for two, if it does get blown over and gets destroyed, then you can talk to Grizzly and see what they can do for you, because it's super fucking tough and it's guaranteed for life. So if you're in the market for a new hunting blind, a new like hard-sided hunting blind, then check out Grizzly Coolers and their hunting blinds. Also on top of it, which is really cool, I'm just going to go through some of the accessories of this hunting blind. They have a Grizzly power vent. I know we've talked about that before with Isaac, and some other, what else is in here? Let's see here. There's some blackout shades, a door organizer, some other shades, and let me see here. The Grizzly hunting blind 8-foot tower kit as well. So if you don't want to build it with 4x4s and shit and post it all up and everything else, then if you don't want to make that yourself and you want it elevated, then you can get the Grizzly hunting blind 8-foot tower kit for another $1,000. It's just a solid metal looking stand with a ladder going up to it. And also there's an insulation kit, so you can line the whole inside of your hunting blind and stay nice and warm in that bitch during those really, really cold late season hunts. The insulation kit's about $550. So there's all sorts of other accessories you can get for the hunting blind itself, and all sorts of good stuff in there. It's like I said, it's a really solid hunting blind. So if you're in the market for a new hunting blind, at least check out Grizzly blinds and see what they can do for you. Go take a test drive, see if you can find a carrier of them, and go sit in them. And once you feel it and see it and sit in it, then you'll realize the difference between the Grizzly blind and all other hard side hunting blinds. So, all right, moving on. Black Ovis. Black Ovis is your one-stop shop for your outdoor hunting, camping needs. And they've got all sorts of stuff in there, from hunting clothes to boots to shoes to archery equipment to arrows. They have an arrow ID builder. It's getting closer and closer to season. If you're an archery hunter and you're shooting your bow, having a good time, you're like, man, I really want to get some new arrows for the season because I'm down to my last 3 because I done lost fucking 8 of them. And I need a couple more arrows built. And I don't have the time. Time is money, and I don't have time to be sitting around piddle fucking around with building arrows. And it's time consuming. You gotta cut them and fucking square them and fletch them and add your point weight and everything else. It's like, fuck that. Let's just just put your order in with Black Ovis and get your arrows built for you by people that get paid to build arrows. Because let's face it, if you could build arrows for a living, then you'd have no issue. You'd build your own arrows. It'd be no problem. But you don't get paid to build your own arrows because you're probably not an arrow ID builder guy. And if you are, then congratulations. That's awesome. You put together some really nice arrows. That's great. But if you are a regular working person like I am, and you work 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, and you get home and you're like, fuck, I just have barely enough time to eat supper, and maybe I can fling a couple arrows to get ready for season. You don't have time to fucking build arrows. You just don't. So check out Black Ovis, Arrow ID Builder. Get some arrows built before season starts. And use code VICTORY at checkout for some savings. And Grizzly, use code WCB for 15% off at grizzlycoolers.com as well. So also, Huntworth. Like I said, season's coming along, getting closer and closer every fucking day. And Huntworth, if you're in the market for some new hunting clothes and you're like, man, you're pricing out some other clothing brands, you're like, fuck, this shit adds up fast. Especially if you're looking to hunt late season stuff And you're like, God dang, some bibs and shit. This insulated gear is expensive as hell. And I don't know if I can afford all of it. So I'm just going to get some lightweight pants and some other stuff, and I'll just layer up and it'll be fine. And then you're sitting in your tree stand and you're shivering your balls off. You're like, God dang it, I really wish I had some warm gear, but I'm just too poor to buy some cold gear from this expensive, really super expensive hunting clothing brand, and now I'm freezing my dick off. Don't do that. Check out Huntworth Gear. Buy some of their clothes, stay warm out in the tree stand, and then you can stay out there a little bit longer and you can enjoy more of your time. Because let's face it, hunting is hard. It's hard as hell. It's very hard, but that's what also makes it fun. But what doesn't make hunting fun is freezing your ass off in the middle of winter waiting for a buck to come walking out. That's not fun. That's not the fun part of hunting. That's the shitty part of hunting. And if you can make that a little bit more comfortable, I'm not saying you're a pussy for having cold weather gear. I'm saying be smart. Stay out there longer. Don't freeze to death. Buy Huntworth. All right. I personally like Tarnin myself. I think it blends in very well, especially in those later season hunts with some broken snow pattern on the ground. Tarnin blends in perfectly well. And for early season, I do honestly think Disruption blends in fucking phenomenally, especially for early season. So check out Huntworth Gear and use code WCB15 to save even more money off because you're poor and you need to save some money. Okay? So check out Huntworth, see what they got. Use code WCB15 for some savings at the back end. And also Mountain Ops. Once again, everyone knows you got to be in shape a little bit, at least a little bit, to get out there and be successful in hunting, and to go day in, day out, hunting your ass off, all day sits during the rut. You're fucking tired. You're groggy. You're maybe a little cranky because you woke up early as fuck and you have to go hang a tree stand on some public land after you walk 16.4 miles all the way into the some Iowa public land. You're tired. You're real tired. And you're like, I don't know. Maybe I just won't go all the way in and set my tree stand up. Maybe I'll just set it up over here on the edge of a bean field on public, which everyone does. You can't do that. So you sit down, you take a breather. You sit your ass down on the edge of that bean field. You take a breather for 2 seconds and you think about life. And then you slam some Ignite and then you're like, oh, fuck, I'm ready to go. And then you push it in there a little bit deeper. And then you get that tree stand hung over that scrape line that you've been watching before season started. And now you're ready to sit that scrape line and be like, yes, that big buck is going to come walking by, scraping his little fucking butt off. And he's going to walk right underneath this tree stand. I'm going to shoot the biggest buck of my life. All because you had the energy to get there. So if you're in the market for some supplements, check out Mountain Ops and use code VICTORY to save some money there as well. So with that said, on to the episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Joe Williams is one of my all-time best friends. Great guy. Give my life for that guy. So I hope you guys enjoy the episode and enjoy the rest of this conversation. You took such a good fucking notes, and that was one thing that I wish I was saying earlier. It's like I wish I was a little bit older when I was went to war, I guess, because being 19 and stuff and going over there, I was just kind of like,
you're living in the moment.
Living in the moment.
Yep.
You know, I wasn't thinking of the future and stuff and how important it would have been, and like, or how honestly, it just like it would have been nice to take better notes. But you have a fucking whole ass binder full of our Afghan deployment stuff. That's a goddamn binder I'm looking at, dude.
No, there's some of it is honestly, some of it's like multiple copies of the DOAB.
Yeah.
I've got that in here, whatever press ran it running. But this home typed up shit, that was done right after each combat mission. So this is about as fresh as you can get.
Okay.
And I dated it. I didn't put a time on it because the times are variable. But I mean, I've even got like grid lines and shit like that to go off this map.
Yeah.
You could track our whole movement off of this.
That's fucking pretty awesome. So I think last time you were on during the Scout Platoon reunion episodes we did, you gave a pretty good backstory on yourself and stuff. So we'll just kind of go from there. But I kind of want to ask you, just like when we were actually just your home military career, because when you were in the Marine Corps, you deployed to Iraq, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went on a Westpac, which is Western Pacific float, 95, 96, and then I got out. And then I went back in 05 and got activated late 05 and went to Iraq.
Okay. How long was your deployment in Iraq for?
We were on the ground for 9 months, but I don't know how the command structure actually went there because I really didn't give a shit because my command was not that good. Mm-hmm. So I focused more on like the small unit stuff. Me and my platoon and my squad. That's all I wanted. That's really all I worried about. And we went when we first landed in country. Went from doing sweep and clear missions outside of Fallujah, and this is after the build up, so there wasn't like any tremendous amount of activity or anything like that. Sweep and clear around Fob Fallujah, and then back in a lot. Went to Pump House Flanders and Pump House Barney, which were literally two pump houses that supported, I don't know, it supported the city of Fallujah and also the FOB. So the main focus of it was just
pump houses like water pumps?
Oh yeah, okay, absolutely.
Gotcha.
There was a Navy engineer that was at each pump house, and basically we were like a PTSD for him, but at the same time, yeah, but at
PSD?
the same PSD. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
You threw a T in there.
Sorry. PSD for him, but at the same time, we held security just on that location. We did our own random patrols. I think, if I remember right, we only accounted for one squad while we were there, and we did our own dismounted patrols around it. We had our obviously sectors of fire and shit like that. The Navy dude, the engineer, he just kept that pump running. That's all his job was. Didn't receive anything out of there. We ran some good sniper missions because we actually had some actual sniper qualified dudes with us when we were there, when I was with the 114. But there was no interdiction. There was no shots. There was nothing. They were just setting up on a high-speed avenue of approach, just looking for anything. There was really nothing there.
So you're an infantryman in the Marine Corps, though, too, right? Which you were?
First, 93 to 97, I was first light armor reconnaissance, which is they from what I understood back then, I just thought it was a high speed grunt. Mm-hmm. But from what I understand now, they lump that in with MARSOC.
Oh, yeah, they changed so much shit up since then too,
and I don't. So. I would have agreed about the MARSOC side of it back then, but I didn't know MARSOC back then because
there was no MARSOC back then.
we were very highly specialized, very mobile. We did like just some when I was a young Marine in that unit, I was like, okay, this is the average Marine stuff. But then I got to hang out with grunts, and I'm like, no, this is not what I'm doing. Is not the average grunt shit. This is like way above that. And we were held at a much higher standard and shit like that. And I'm not trying to, slob the knob on first LAR or anything like that. But I'm just stating. As a young, like you saying, if you were younger, you would have kept better records and shit like that. Had I been a younger or an older Marine at that time in first LAR, I would have kept a lot better facts or a lot better information, and it would have made a hell of a lot more of a resonance with me. Like, this is some impressive shit. Me, I just thought it was everyday stuff. This is what every Marine does.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was in the. I mean, you guys did a good job when with us young soldiers that came in the scout platoon and stuff too. That you're like, this isn't normal.
No,
like it's normal for you, but this isn't normal for the overarching Army goal and stuff.
See,
like, we're very specialized and stuff, and you didn't really. But we knew that, but I didn't really realize until I went active duty and shit. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty, it's eye-opening, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't want to digress too much. We'll get into that stuff a little bit later, but I wanted to get more into like, okay, so when you were in Iraq though, You were an infantryman.
Yes.
You were just like, I don't know, what is that, 0311 or something?
0311, and they called us, they lumped us in with provisional MPs. Well, then once I was in there, we were probably 2 or 3 months in country. They had some combat loss in what they called PTT, Police Transition Teams. And they escorted around what they called the IPLOs, the Iraqi Police Liaisons. And those gentlemen were hired by the State Department, and they were actually police officers within the United States that were hired to go over there to Iraq and train police officers. We would go in, and we would, as Marines, would set up the location of where the police station was going to be. We'd talk to the local Mufawa or Dishdash or whatever the fuck they call them. And we would.
What the fuck is that? Is it a leader?
Yeah, okay. It's like the local tribal leader.
Okay, gotcha.
And we'd say, hey, where can we set up a police station in your area? And then they would say, okay, you can do it over here, you can do it over there, wherever they wanted it. And then we would go set up revetments, refine it, make it more structurally sound, better defenses and shit like that. And then we would bring in the IPLOs that would actually train these gentlemen, and by gentlemen I mean train the Iraqis, as actual police tactics from the United States.
Okay.
How to cuff and frisk, how to question, this, that, and the other. And the thing that I thought was just totally bizarre was they were teaching them American democracy doctrine on how to question people, which is totally not what these people are used to.
No.
They're totally, I want to know what the hell has happened, and they'll fucking beat the shit out of you.
Oh, dude, yeah.
The IPLOs were like, no. We got to coerce these people. We got to talk to them. We got to let them understand that what they're doing to help us is the smart and the right thing to do. If you beat them, you can get them to tell you that a turnip's a fucking tomato, you know? And our IPLOs were fucking good. They had better fucking weapons than we did, bro. They had fully automatic subbed out M4s. And those things would cook through a mag in about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, it makes sense. You guys were still using fucking M16 A2s and stuff, weren't you?
A4s.
A4s,
We had A4s.
I just figured it was A2s.
Yeah. Eat a dick, guy. But yeah, I did that because it was me and a gentleman named Sanchez. He was from obviously the Chicago area. I was from Iowa, and yeah, it was eye opening because God dang it, I don't remember what my first sergeant was there, but he came up and told me and Sanchez personally that we're going out there to help these IPLOs, and he says you're going to need these things, and he took his M4 off of his body and his 9mm and gave them to me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. He goes, you're going to need these. Now, we received a little bit of combat engagement, and I think it was I wouldn't even, from what Afghanistan was, these weren't even fucking firefights. Yeah. These were some asshole squirting a mag out at us.
Yeah. But try to like put yourself in the position at the time.
Yeah.
So like
at the time, it was like, holy shit, this is real. But it was nothing at the time. Yeah. We ran into a lot of IEDs, though.
Oh, did you?
I mean, we had to call EOD out 3 times a week, and we're traveling on this close to the same roads every day.
And Iraq at that time was the number one thing. It was very IED heavy because like the main fighting kind of was starting to go. Was that kind of in the beginning, or like
that was at the end of
that was at the end, though, right?
That was the end of the troop buildup is when I went in.
Gotcha. So you were deep into the insurgency tactics then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'd switched from the face-to-face to the actual,
Yeah.
They weren't even doing, at the time I was over there, they weren't even doing the what do they call that? Combined ambushes where they'd light it off with a IED and then hit up with small arms.
It was just IEDs.
It was just IEDs.
I gotcha.
A lot of it. I mean, we'd be driving down a fucking road and you'd see a dust plume 10 miles away, and you're like, well, an IED went off over there.
Jeez.
You'd look over there, same fucking thing. You'd see, in a 20-minute drive, you'd see 15 of these sons of bitches.
Jeez.
It was nuts.
Because in Afghanistan, we didn't hit a lot. The IEDs we did hit sucked, but it wasn't like that in Afghanistan.
No, not at all.
So like, I'm trying to, because I've never been to Iraq, so I don't know. So I'm like really
interested
in the Iraq war just because I never went there, but that's a totally different type of mentality. I guess. Like when you're constantly just looking out for IEDs.
It was horrible. It was frustrating. It was
We're not even fighting.
Everything,
That's what's frustrating
everything about
it.
it. You're just driving around on pins and needles every day. It's a job you have to do because you have to get back and forth. Because we had 4 or 5 police stations. We spent a day at each one of them, but there were some times that we obviously beat up multiple police stations one day. We never stayed back at the fob. We were always running every fucking day. So we were really exposed. And like I said, it was just constant tension because it's not, I never worried about being shot. Never did. I'm fucking sitting behind, 7 inches of bulletproof glass. I'm fucking cool with that.
Yeah.
And that was when the 1114s just first came in and they were the fucking king shit.
The Humvees.
Yeah, they were king shit out there.
Because in the invasion, everyone was running fucking...
they're fucking canvas backs, just getting Swiss cheesed and stuff like that. But
so you guys had up-armored Humvees, 1114s.
We were totally into it. I mean, we were set up about as good as you could at that time in Iraq. But then there's nothing that's going to defeat an IED.
No.
There's
especially a Humvee. Like, they're flat bottom.
Oh, fuck no.
They're flat
It's like putting a firecracker in a box, bro.
Yep. Yeah.
It's going to end up fucking you up. I mean, honestly... I wasn't there when it happened. I seen the truck. I talked to them because this is where this was the part of the combat replacement I came in for. They got hit with a 60 millimeter mortar on the back lid of a turtleback Humvee. All it did was push it in about 4 inches and crack the fucker. That was it. And that wasn't even ballistic. That was just fucking aluminum.
Yeah.
That was nothing. And that just shows you, the resilience of those vehicles. But then you put something underneath of them, and they just
they're using big IEDs over there too.
Yeah.
They're big IEDs. They weren't fucking little toys. Like you're talking like multiple 155s strung together.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the biggest one. I can see it in my mind, but I don't remember the exact date. And it was 2 155s, and when it went off, it erased the road. The EOD came out, and EOD got to the point in Iraq. They talk about all these movies you see where they're out there defusing shit. Fuck that. Yeah. Fuck, the fastest way to defuse an IED is to blow some bitch up. And that's exactly what they'd run their little cart out there, little fucking Traxxas with an arm, and they'd drop fucking 2 pounds of C4, and they'd back that thing up and clack that fucker off. I mean... We'd be 150 meters away and shit's pelting our windshield, cracking it. And we're like, well, maybe we weren't far enough away. And EOD's like, no, you're fine.
Did they know what it was before they blew it? Like,
they would go,
investigate?
They would go up there, and their little Traxxas buggy or whatever the fuck it was had a camera on it. And it had great resolution because we were in the back of the Buffalo watching it one day. And I'm seeing nothing. I'm seeing like nothing, literally nothing. And the EOD is going, oh, there's the det cord. And he's pointing his finger at it. He's tracing in there. And once he starts tracing around, oh, yeah, that's a 155 end. Oh, they got that other one turned around. They got that det cord running right into the primer.
How'd they dig it out, though? How'd they see it?
They don't.
How'd they see it then?
They have had enough training or dealt with it enough that they're seeing it. He's pointing it out to me, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then as he starts pointing it out, I'm like,
just like
I can see that shit
while
now.
It's buried, they would just pick out little things. And
he's picking out. Picking out how the earth is shaped around it, shit like that. And I'm like, I didn't see it looking there, but when he starts pointing it out, I'm like, because I knew the size and shape of fucking 155. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, I can see that now.
Because they weren't digging them deep.
No,
because first of all, it's sand and it's
minimum effort, maximum effect. Exactly. That's what they need.
Yep. So that's the biggest thing, because they were putting out so many fucking IEDs. It's like you can't.
If you put too much material,
if you were to dig them down that deep, it's like you're just not gonna have time.
If you put too much material in an IED, that negates the effects of it.
Right.
That deflects the effects of it. You want that as close to the surface as possible.
True.
And at this time too, we're running on a newly paved road, so everything's being dug in from the side, and it's very easy to see them. It's very easy to catch them. And when they put these roads in, they clear off left and right. So if you, all of a sudden one day you're driving on a road and you see a sign there, you're like, wait a fucking minute. There's something wrong here, because they don't put those signs out there. They don't want them put out there. Now, if somebody starts to put shit out there, guess what? They're more than likely trying to hide something. And that's every time. That keyed us off every time. It was ugly. But thankfully, we never... I wouldn't even say we come to a close proximity hit. I mean, everything... I was the new guy, and Sanchez was too, but everybody that was already there had been in combat engagements. They knew what they were fucking looking for. So by the time we got there, we were just along for the ride. Really, we were the Timmerman and Smiley of the whole fucking deal. Really.
Yeah. So that's really all I've heard about Iraq during that time. I
was in Iraq the same time as the 144. I mean, the 133.
Yeah. So Rose there during that time and everything else. Yeah, because they were there until it was like
they were there for 24 months.
Fuck.
They got extended. They got extended by a whole year. I was there. I actually met 2 guys from high school over there. They were in the 133rd that I hadn't met since 93. This 2005, and I seen them over there.
Jeez. And you're a Marine, they're Army, and you're like, what the fuck? How you doing? Cool fucking sweet, man. That's wild. So, I guess, so coming back from Iraq and stuff, you got out of the Marine Corps, and then you joined. When you came in the Army, you came straight in the National Guard, right? And you went straight to the scout platoon? Or
Wagner, I believe, was his name that recruited me, and I told him what I did in the Marine Corps, and he's like, I got a perfect spot for you. He put me in the scout platoon. And I honestly, I'm not trying to sell the Army short, but with the Marine Corps, whatever branch, they fucking fill your head full of fucking shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be with a bunch of fucking panty waist little motherfuckers that just don't know shit.
Well, not only that, but you're coming from the Marine Corps to the Army National Guard, and you're like a bunch of goddamn part-timers, fucking losers, bunch of fat fucks.
When I got there, I noticed right away that they were obviously the best shape platoon there within HHC, and they were serious about it. And the glorious thing was that you guys were all fucking young, which meant that you were fresh out of basic. You guys wanted to make a fucking difference.
When did you come in? I can't remember.
2008, June of 2008.
Okay. So because you were already there when I got there. You were well into the scout platoon. I couldn't remember how long it was before that. Because at the time, like when I came in and stuff, we didn't really talk about that a whole lot. So he's just like, Staff Sergeant Williams, fucking, there you go.
He's a fucking dickhead.
He's a fucking asshole.
Careful of that guy. He's a former Marine. He's a fucking, he yells a lot.
All the time. But then we realized that's just your normal voice. It's okay, not a big deal.
Yeah, he's just being friendly.
Yeah, it's just
he wants to be your buddy.
If he's not yelling at you, you're really fucked up. Yeah. No, because I got there in 2009. Yeah, because I graduated in 2009, so I got there in 2009 because I got on the AIT, and Cunners and it was me, Cunners, Morgan, and fucking Donnie. We all came there right about the same time. And yeah, I mean, Nugget was the last one to come in. We were one of the last ones to come in the platoon.
Yeah, Nugget was because we were all like, who the fuck is this chewed up bubble gum?
Yeah, he's fat. What the fuck? Why you got airborne wings, you fat fuck? Then he's like, well, when I joined the Army, I was 300 fucking pounds, and now I'm only 250. He's like, good job.
Okay,
you
good.
Fucking loser.
You'll hit the ground first.
But he's awesome. No, I fucking love
He's
Nugget.
A fucking stellar performer.
He's great.
You just can't.
The thing that pissed me off about Nugget is that he came in and he's fat, and we're like, oh my God, why did they put this fucking... My initial thoughts, was seeing him. I'm like, he's kind of chunky. Like, what the fuck is he doing in the scout platoon? And then we did our first PT test. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
He's fucking...
He's
in shape. Like, he's fucking good. I think he scored... he scored really well on his PT test, and I'm like, "Fuck, man!"
That's a first misconception. Misconception about specialized people in the military is that they're the fucking Swede or they're the Dolph Lundgren of the group.
Oh yeah, jacked. Fuck.
You're gonna get 10% of them that are that guy.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 90% of them that look like the average person on the street. But guess what? The thing that they have is they won't fucking quit, and they won't quit on themselves.
Yep.
And that's what you got to find. If you won't quit on yourself, you're definitely not going to quit on the men around you.
Nugget's probably got one of the strongest minds when it comes to that kind of stuff than anyone.
It definitely takes a level of stubbornness.
Yeah. He was fat. He was very fat. And he's very open about it. He's in college, and he's a lineman in football.
But he got the taste of his own greatness of what he could be if he was a better in shape man.
Yep.
And he's not going to let that hold him back.
And the Army wouldn't take him at first. I think he had to lose a significant amount of weight before the Army would even take him.
I lose weight.
He lost a shit ton of weight, and then he joined the Army, and then he lost even more weight, and he got even better shape. And he's a beast now. He runs his own CrossFit gym and shit. He's a tank. But when we came in and stuff, and when you were there, we were training and stuff, and it wasn't long after my group got there, that I just explained it. When we got there, It was shortly after that we got orders to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It was very short. I want to say it was within a few months of us being there when we first got talks that we're going.
Well, that was like the pre-mob stuff or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck they want to call it.
Well, it was
Warning order.
yeah, warning
That's what
order.
it was.
Because when we first got the first warning order, we didn't know where we were going. We were just like, hey, a deployment's coming up and we're going to be on it. And then a little bit because I had Cunners and I both had college first in our contract. And I remember Schmitty came up to me. He's like, "Hey, we're getting deployed like pretty soon here. You have college first in your contract. That you need to either you're going to sit it out, and we need to like reassign you to a different platoon like ASAP, so we can get someone else in, or you got to sign this paperwork saying you're going to deploy." So I'm like, okay. So I negated my college first. I signed the paperwork. I'm like, it was kind of good that I was short, like just out of training, I guess, too, and wasn't balls deep into college. And I also I'll be honest, I didn't want to go to college, really. I just didn't know what to do with my life, I guess. So it was pretty easy for me to sign that paperwork and be like, yeah, I'd rather go on an adventure than fucking go to college, I guess. So, but if I was balls deep in college, it probably would have been a bigger decision to make rather than like just signing up for college.
Yes, Brown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. But
I didn't try and talk him out of that, but I tried to talk him out of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big decision to make when you're balls deep and you know exactly what you want to do and everything else. It's a hard decision to make, but I didn't know what I want to do, and I was like just signing up for classes when I signed that paperwork. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I'd rather deploy than go to college. So,
well, what looks better?
Thing. Yeah. Well, I mean,
you could have gone to college and been an average Joe, or you could be a fucking rock star.
Yeah, or I could have died. One of the two.
You'd die a rock star.
I'd die a rock star, though. I'd rather do that. But yeah, I don't know. So when we were getting ready to deploy and all that stuff, we did our pre-mob and everything else, and did all that stuff. But like with Afghanistan, especially compared to like your Iraq deployment and stuff, when in your mind when we first got to Afghanistan, when did you realize like, oh, this is different? Like this is a different deployment.
October 31st. When the very first mission we went on, and the PSYOPs dudes got blown up, I was like, man, I've seen an IED, but I've never seen one hit a truck before.
Yeah,
and that looks painful. And then those guys kind of hobbled out of there, and the one guy jumped off the back steps, and the ass end of that RG-31 was all jacked up in the air because the front end was blown off of it, and he fell down and twisted his ankle. And I kind of laughed a little bit because I was like, are you fucking serious? You just got blown the fuck up and you twist your ankle? That's like getting a paper cut on your dick.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
What are you doing? Why'd you do that? You made it. You made it this far and then you fucking break your ankle? What the hell,
fucking
dude?
Nuts.
So October 31st, was there small arms associated with that? Or
no,
was that
just an IED. And I don't even know if they ever came back. I never heard if it was command wire or if it was victim actuated.
But why was that different than the all the IEDs and stuff you saw in Iraq?
The IEDs I saw in Iraq were from a distance, and it never hit anything.
Okay.
Where I'm seeing them blow up in the fucking on the horizon or something like that, or we're identifying them and backing off and getting EOD come in and blow them up. I never seen a truck, for lack of a better word, dismembered from fucking hitting one, and I realized right then and there, that's why I was a huge fan of the RG-31. That is the fucking truck I want to be in if it's going to take a shot in the puss, because that was a big one. That one was at least 60 pounds that hit the PSYOPs, dude.
Jeez.
And it was, I could drive you right to the spot, but were you there when Mitch hit that cow?
Yeah.
Okay. It was just before Mitch hit that cow where the road made like a U-turn type shape.
Okay.
That right there, it was actually, they never repaired it through our whole deployment. That right there on the right side of the road or the east side of the road was all blown out. They just filled it with a rock and shit like that.
So I wasn't on that mission. I don't think that he hit that cow. I'm trying to remember. No, I wasn't. No, I was there. I do remember that. No, I do remember it.
Yeah, I made the mistake. I made the mistake of telling him to hit it, and then it cost us $1,500 fucking dollars.
Because it was pregnant with twins.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
and it was a giant Holstein too. That goddamn thing was a Blue Ox Babe. Yeah. It was massive, apparently.
So it was on that road.
Yeah, it was on that road.
Jesus, that was like we traveled that road a lot.
Yeah,
yeah.
We got hit with 3 IDs on that road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we traveled that road a lot. You guys hit, you guys hit a lot of IEDs before we got there.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing about it too was that I don't think, for what I can remember, I don't think any of them were victim actuated. Were the ones in Iraq? A lot of them were, or could have been. Over there, they were command wire detonated.
Yeah, and Afghanistan, you're saying?
Yeah,
yeah. Afghanistan's pretty much all command wire, if I'm not mistaken, that we encountered.
But it all has to do with the evolution of the war too.
Yeah,
because that's the way shit worked in Iraq too. Is they did a lot of victim actuated shit because they wanted to place them and not be around, or at least be at a place where they could see where it's happening and not be traced as being the bad guy. Then they got a little more ballsy, I don't know if you want to say that, where the victim actuated shit was fine because they realized, well, I can activate this thing and then get the fuck away from the activation, and nobody knows I did it. Well, yeah, being what it is, and us doing a cordon search all the time when all this shit came off, I don't honestly think we ever found anybody that was command wire detonated on these things, except for that one time with that fucking kid, and that fucking pissed me off.
Well, and the thing is, too, in Afghanistan, there's so much stuff to hide. When you're command detonated and stuff, and when there's a giant explosion goes off, what does everyone do? Look at the explosion, shit!
Hey, well, let's
you got
go look
solid.
at that.
You got some time to fucking
blend right in,
boogie and get out of there. So, but also in Afghanistan, a lot they also, their tactics were different. Where we didn't cover a shit ton, I guess, but they like to stick around sometimes and fire back too. Like they like to blow up, then shoot, and then run. But we didn't really encounter that a whole lot. Did you guys ever encounter that, like an actual complex ambush?
The only complex ambush that we ever occurred was the very last one that we had. I think it was June 21st, and that was the one where it was at dusk, and we were heading back to the fob. No. I'd have to read my notes. It's not the one, I don't think it's the one where Flurry got hit. But we went out, we got hit, we turned around and actually came back because EOD told us we had to go back so they could do a pulse blast analysis. And we sat on the IED, or the IED crater, and then the LT told us to turn the fucking lights off, and I was the lead vehicle out and the trail vehicle coming back in, and I almost got fucking rear-ended. I'm like, we got fucking problems here. We need to do something. Well, turn your marker lights on. Well, as soon as we did that, then a Blue Force tracker starts blowing up. Oh, you got elements moving on you. You're going to receive ambush contact here within. It was probably the most spot on prediction they had.
Really?
Within 5 minutes. Fuck yeah. And then we started getting pelted with small arms fire. I had an RPG go in front, behind, and underneath my truck. It blew up underneath my truck. And then Wilkie was driving. He was looking off the driver's side where the fire was coming from. Cunners was manning the crow. Cunners couldn't see, and Wilkie's like, just traverse left. And I leaned back, and I was like, hey, traverse to 11 o'clock, start firing until Wilkie tells you to stop, and then he's going to direct you. So Cunners lays on a 240, traversing left, and it's the longest burst I ever heard out of a machine gun. Because he's like taking his fucking time. I'm like, hurry the fuck up before you melt my gun down. He goes back, and Wilkie goes, stop, come back 10 feet. As soon as he comes back, the guy pops his head up and splattered that fucker right all over the wall.
Well, it worked.
Yep. And then Boer and Rowe, oh my God, the most animated homosexuals in the Army or something. Because Boer jumps out, launches an AT-4. That fucker impacts it 50 yards away from the truck. Just burns as it's trying to auger itself into the ground. Rowe lets off with I'm pretty sure he ripped out the Mark 48 and just leans out the back door of the truck they were on and just cooks that fucker off. And I'm like, go to town, boys. Do something special. It was ugly.
Because we didn't have, our trucks didn't have the crow on it. You had the crow.
I was the only one with the crow.
Yeah.
That's why I led.
Yep. The thing is fucking dope.
That was the fucking shit.
For people listening that don't know what it is, explain what the crow is.
Commonly remote operated weapon, commonly mounted remote operated weapon. You can put any fully automatic weapon on there from a 249 up to a Mark 19. So 240, M2 Browning. You can do anything you want on it. You just have to change the feed trays, the feed chutes, whatever goes along with that particular gun. And very versatile. I mean, we ran with the 50 cal because that fucking thing cooked.
Oh yeah.
The only 50 cal at that time that I think was faster was on those the little birds. It was the electric one.
Yep.
This was all still mechanical. The only thing you're shooting is you got a solenoid that pulls a trigger on the fucking 50 cal. That's it.
So, but explain like the actual usage of it. So you have how
I
it's
think it
actually
had
used.
you have a gunner that's inside, and it doesn't strike you as a normal gunner like what I would think of. He's not in a turret. He's just sitting off the side of the truck looking at a TV screen.
It's in the back seat.
Yes.
Yep.
He's generally on the right side. In RG-31, he was on the right side behind the passenger side or the vehicle commander. And then he would be looking at a screen. That screen you would have to, I don't know if they call it, a bore sight and collimate is what I would use in the Marine Corps. But on the Army side, I think you just had to bore sight or BZO it, which means that you had to select the weapon, and that would automatically do a thing they call super elevation, and that super elevation was set at distance. So as long as you had your sight, your crosshair on the TV screen set on your target, it would automatically elevate that barrel to make that bullet hit that crosshair.
So you're not on the screen. It's not like a scope reticle.
No,
you're not doing any elevation change. You're literally putting it on there. The computer is computing the distance because it has a laser rangefinder on the system itself.
It does everything for you. You have to choose what you want it to do, but after you make it lays the target and all that fucking good shit, the computer does all the thinking for you. And all you have to do,
you're fucking
it is.
So because you can shoot it single round, burst, or fucking, it's just. You control it because it's like a joystick that you're controlling it with, right?
You can get first round hit on a 240 with that thing. You can go full burst on a 240, and you can get every round on that target.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's nuts.
When I first saw it in action, like at the Black Hills and stuff, when we were shooting targets and stuff, I'm like, this is insanity.
It is.
It's so crazy.
Unbelievable.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
And you're sitting 3.5 feet below it.
Yep.
So even if they got pissed off and they wanted to shoot you up, the only thing that sucks is if you have a weapons malfunction that you can't clear from inside. Then you got to get outside.
Yeah.
But we kept our weapons. If you maintain your weapon, you maintain the crow systems, you're not going to have a weapons malfunction. And we never did.
Right. Well, it's the same thing. Like if you're up in the gunner's hatch shooting it, it's like you need to fucking have your weapons working anyways, because if you're constantly fixing malfunctions, you're not going to fight. So as long as you're doing your I guess your daily tasks as a soldier overseas and stuff, then you're going to be fine.
If you were going to have a weapon mounted
and everything else,
if you're going to have a weapon mounted on a turret, like on a Humvee or even an RG-31 or anything like that, then I would recommend a 240 for sure, because you got the butt stock to get against. But if you're going to use anything other than that heavy caliber, nothing without a butt stock, Mark 19 or M2, then you want to have it in a crow system, because that takes away the variable where you have to press the fucker forward, you have to hit your butterfly trigger, and then you have to walk onto the target.
Yep.
No, these are designed for first round hit. They're amazing.
It's insane. Those crow systems are so crazy. It literally blows my mind. Like whenever we'd go out and I'd talk to cunners like afterwards and stuff, I'm like, that thing is so crazy. It's so wild.
It's like a 24 or 36 power zoom on it too. It's amazing.
And then
it's got passive night on it, and I believe
you can go thermal too, right?
No, I don't think they had that in country, but I think they were going to that. But you'd have to ask Cunners, because I'm the only one. I instructed him how to use a weapon. He's the one that had to teach me on how to use a crow.
Yeah,
him and Jung, I believe, went.
They
to
actually went to the
That.
class.
Yeah,
they had a class coming in and everything else. So
they had to go to JAF for that. And it was like a 3-day course.
Yeah.
And they knew it. I mean, that I'm glad they paid attention.
Yeah, well, especially since they knew they were going to get them and stuff, and they're going to be manning it.
I wish we would have had more.
We're already balls deep in the deployment at that point, so it's like, you better fucking pay attention.
Yeah, I wish we would have had more. I wish we had at least 2 more RG-31. Well, at least one more RG-31 to go with mine.
It would have been really nice, honestly, if we had that, but we didn't. We had one, but one's better than none. That's for sure, because it did come in handy. There's a few missions that I can remember where it's like, that was fucking...
Using that truck to suppress.
Shit.
That fucking thing did its money.
Well, and it's like, suppressing is one thing, but accurately suppressing is a whole other ball game. You know, that's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. So that's when so that IED and stuff. So going back to when you first got there and stuff. So that October 31st IED, the Halloween one, that's when you really realized, like, okay, like this is a different deployment. Or...
I knew it was different because, like I said, it was instant, not instant action, but it was instant, like, hey, wide awake. But then what sucked after that, it's the end of the fighting season.
Yeah.
So now I'm just fucking cold.
Yeah.
Just fucking cold after we go on missions. We're going up into this area. We're going up into that area. And I'm just like, well, you get almost to a point where you can get lackadaisical about it. But I always kept it in my mind, okay, fighting season. Because I really spun myself up on this on my own back home about what was called a fighting season. I'm looking it up and shit like that. And like, hey, we're going to get into it. And sure as fuck, come March, it just started going crazy.
Did they brief you guys, the leadership, on that stuff too beforehand? Because I remember we did a bunch of classes and all that stuff, but I remember them talking about, like, touching on it, but not really emphasizing on, like, a fighting season and all that stuff. But I guess did you, before we went to Afghanistan, or even while we were in Afghanistan, like, what, like, I guess did you know exactly, like because it sounded like before, when we were getting the briefs from you guys as the squad leaders, you know, it's like, hey, you know, this is a big boy deployment. Like, this is no shit. Like, we have our own area of operation. We have our own fucking battle space and all that stuff. Like, this is a big boy deployment. But, like, it really didn't resonate with me until, yeah, honestly, like, because we got in a few firefights and stuff like that during, like, the lull of outside of fighting season, I guess, because we got in a firefight in, like, right around Christmas time and stuff. And it's really small, but it's all very small. But yeah, once springtime hit, like March hit, it's like, oh shit, like this is a real deployment. That's when it really started, like, sinking in, I guess, for me personally.
It resonated, but it's very hard to prepare somebody for anything, because if you go long enough, you might get the misconception that, hey, we're showing command presence, so we're fucking doing our job, and the enemy doesn't want to engage us. But then when they do engage us, you're like, oh shit, now I got to have a true command presence, and what the fuck are we going to do when this happens? To get there, I don't know. I personally would have rather have gotten there in, say, September.
Yeah.
And experienced the taste of it, and then gone through the winter months of the non-fighting season, and then got back into it.
Just so we had something more to prepare for.
Yeah.
Like, knowing what to expect. Yep. And then plan accordingly during the lull. But we literally got in there, like, right in the end.
But the next thing that we did was we kept busy. We kept running on missions. Yeah. We kept showing ourselves. We kept putting our presence out there so that the enemy couldn't be like, well, they're being lackadaisical. We only see them once a fucking week. They don't give two shits. And the next thing, too, is we listened to the gentleman before us.
Yeah.
Those guys told us, okay, you watch out for the Parway Valley, the Nur Alam, all that stuff. That's bad places to be. Those are where we focus a lot of our shit at. And the only thing about that is you think it's good, but it's not good, because if you put your focus there, that means they're putting their resources somewhere else. So you got to be careful. And that's why we did do some of those offshoot missions where nothing ever fucking happened. But that was a good thing. When nothing happened, that was a great fucking thing. It just meant that they hadn't pushed out of another area to that area. And I don't know. Afghanistan was on a level. I wasn't in a position in Iraq where I thought Iraq was really that terrible. Afghanistan, 1,000 times worse. Yeah. 1,000 times worse. It was horrible.
Well, just the terrain itself, too.
Oh, Jesus.
It's like the terrain is so fucking wild out there. Like, because before Afghanistan,
everywhere. In Iraq, I drove everywhere. And then, like, any of the walking we did was like small sweeps that are going through a palm grove outside of a police station, or, you know, we'd go in. If the police station had been occupied, we would still go in and we would sweep it, because we don't know if those are the fucking bad cops or whatever. But Afghanistan,
yeah,
Jesus, a 20-minute or an insertion at, 2,400 at night, going over the top of a mountain. You're like, well, at first we were like, oh, that'll take us 20 minutes. Well, we learned real fucking quick.
Yeah.
20 minutes is more like fucking 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, it's just so steep. You don't really like now after like going out to like Idaho and stuff and hunting in Wyoming and stuff. It's like you get in the mountains and you're hunting like, you know, deer or elk or whatever else. It's like you see them out, you get out there and you look at your maps. Like say you're a guy wanting to go out hunting west and you're from the Midwest and you're looking at Onyx, or you're looking at your maps and you're like, okay, like fuck yeah, there's a lot of mountains out there and everything else. And you're trying to pick out spots. And once you get out there and you see the mountains, like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Like this is huge. And they could be anywhere.
That's right.
Anywhere. And now now when we got to Afghanistan, it's like you get dropped in and you're just like, oh fuck, they could be anywhere. And it's not a deer and elk that you're trying to go kill and fucking
it's trying to hunt you back.
Stuff. They're trying to hunt you back, so they could be watching you from anywhere.
And generally they're way the fuck up there.
And generally we start down low, where they have the high point and they can see everything that's going on. That's why we always would try to get out there during the dark when they can't see us, because they don't have fucking nods like we do and shit. But at the same time, it's like, any daytime movement, like when we're moving through the mountains in the daytime, dude, my fucking hair was always standing on the back of my fucking neck. And when we were doing like those valley clearings, when we're in the floor, in the valley floor, walking through the mountains,
watching you the whole time,
walking through the valley, I'm just like, God damn it! Like they're all you're just looking around, you're like they're watching us, and then we start getting hit, and it's like, oh fuck! Like, I always wait for fucking people to come pouring out of the mountains and shit like that, like in Doab and whatever else that happens. Like, it's just you never know when you're out there, and you're just constantly looking around. You're just like, and then you have a village and thrown in the mix too. So it's like, now you have buildings and you have mountains all around you. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, this
happened when you
crazy.
When Wink took you guys down through the valley, and I was base of fire, and Roe was QRF. The very first contact that we as a whole platoon achieved.
Like real contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching them on your left, the other side of the valley from me, just flooding out of the mountains. I'm like, I can't do nothing.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing. And then when we kept pushing in there, I'm like, no, you got to turn around. You got to stop. You got to do something. Hold your ground. I said, I cannot cover you with my automatic weapons. I have to move forward.
You're too far away.
Hold on. I said, my beating zone is going to be you if you keep fucking moving.
What sucks too is like being a fucking specialist and stuff. I didn't have comms. Yep. So I just had to go by what my squad leader was saying and stuff. And it's like going from there. But it's like, I didn't hear any of that stuff until we got done. And then being like, oh shit. Like I knew we were getting hit. We were getting attacked from this position and stuff like that. But I just it never really, in the moment, you don't think about it in your head where like when you're getting in a firefight, you're just reacting contact, doing your battle drills, trying to maneuver and do these things and listen to your squad leader, listen to your team leader and do what you can. But I generally always felt like, well, we got QRF, we got you guys up over here, like we're covered. And then we get in there and it's like, oh shit, like, they didn't have us covered because they couldn't. You couldn't do it. So it's like, shit.
When you guys first got hit on that, me, Mathis, and I believe it was Smith, ran off our finger down through the valley, right past the asshole that I just shot, ran up another fucking finger to get on top to cover you guys because you were already at that Pink Palace or whatever the fuck we called that. And that was, I could barely even see that from the finger I was on because you had moved that fast. And I was just like, fuck. And then when I got there, I called up Foot and everybody else. And because that's when we had...
that's part of YE Valley, right?
Yeah, we had the PSD for the Lieutenant Colonel fucking was with us too. And I'm like, you guys can make it. If you run through the fucking bottom and you get up here, I said, you can be here in 12 minutes, start hauling ass. And that's what everybody did. And that was kind of funny because... I'm up there with 3 dudes, me and 2 other dudes, just fucking sitting there looking at the fucking Pink Palace. And I look back and I just see this, like, it looks like 6 spiders coming across the fucking bottom ground. And I'm like, fuck, we are fucked if you guys get hit now because I'm trying to protect these guys. And then I got to shoot back towards you guys. We are totally fucked. You guys better fucking haul ass. And they got up there and then, and that was it. That was it. That huge movement, but nothing fucking happened after that. It was such a fucking letdown. Such a huge letdown. I was like, man, I want to court on that fucking Pink Palace and take that bitch to the ground.
I know.
It never happened.
The Pink Palace is fucking. I just wanted to raise it. I just wanted to raise that whole fucking
thing. I was hoping that we would do a screen line all the way through, like we did with the Bad Pesh Valley, and set scouts and snipers up right there, basically in line on that Pink Palace from north to south, and then send the rest of the fucking battalion in on those wide off on that river, back there, and have them sweep back through. Just fucking send them to us, man. We'll set the trap.
Yep. We're the only ones that ever...
Never fucking happened.
We're the only ones that ever went in that valley. And how many times did we go in there? We went in there a lot. Dozen times?
I bet you it was more than that.
More than that?
I bet you it was 20 times. We received contact probably a dozen times, but... I mean, there was times, too, when we just driving by there. And remember, they'd shoot right out of it.
When we first got there, because Parway was one of those valleys that the outbound unit told us, like, it's a rough valley. And I remember when we first went to Parway, like we weren't even planning on going in Parway. We're like, just get at the mouth and see what it's all about. Got hit. Like, oh, shit.
Oh, they're shooting at us.
They have
Time to go do something.
They've got the entire valley. Like if they're at the mouth of the valley,
they didn't care.
They've got the entire valley. They own that valley. So it's like we really made that a point to be like, we want to clear this whole fucking valley and clear it through that son of a bitch. And it was that was when it was in Parway when I almost got my dick shot off by a PKM running up those goddamn terraces.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Because we were fucking advancing and maneuvering and stuff. And I told this story on the working class podcast I did with those guys a little bit, but we were running up that because we only had these terraces to hide behind and stuff to use for cover and concealment and stuff. And I remember I jumped up on this terrace and I was running, and I seen a PKM fucking burst go, like hitting the ground right in front of me, like, oh shit. And then I seen a couple of rounds hit like between my legs as I'm running, like, oh no. And I fucking did a combat roll and tried running off the side. And like, oh my gosh, I have this pack on, all my shit on. I'm like, fuck. And I kind of like jumped to the right a little bit and like combat roll and fucking like, oh shit. And in my mind, it felt like pretty legit.
Yeah.
But if anyone was watching, they're probably like, look at that fucking idiot.
I just Jason Bourne this. No, you just completely Down syndrome that one.
Yeah, buddy. I did. I Down syndromed it for sure. And they probably stopped and they're like, oh shit, I got him. That's probably what they thought. I got him.
That's why they stopped shooting.
Yeah, and they stopped shooting. Then I fucking I get back up. I get to the next terrace. Yeah. I got the big one. I got the big one. But dude, that's probably some of the closest shots I ever do in such a sensitive area. God, that would have sucked getting hit right in the fucking cock.
I don't even want to imagine.
No.
I have PTSD about that, and it never even happened.
No, it's not. It wasn't fun. That was an unfun one. And there's another time in Parway. Parway really kicked my ass because then another time I fucking fell into a shit river and got double pink eye.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that one, but I was running through and it was kind of I can't remember which one exactly it was, but it was when we made it to the village. We were maneuvering through the village, and I shot the fucking. Actually, I think that might have been one where some of our helmet cam footage made it on like PBS or some shit. When we had our faces all painted up.
Oh, okay.
And I shot I remember we were getting contact from this one building, and I lobbed a couple of 320s in the window, and then we didn't get contact there anymore, and we moved on and kept maneuvering through. And I remember everyone else was running through, and we all jumped this little ditch and had a little stream run through it, and I fucking went to jump. Misjudged, and I fell. I'm like, oh, and fucking got all wet, and I fell like face first, not some bitch. I got up and I kept running, and just finished it out. And then we got to
feels like feces.
Yeah, well, it didn't feel like it just felt wet, and I'm like, whatever. Just a little river, just a little creek. Everyone else cleared it. I didn't. I'm an idiot. I'm clumsy. Whatever, I guess. And I get to the end, and I'm like sitting down, like I think we got to the end, and we're done with the tick, and I finally realized, like.
Did I shit myself?
Fuck, something stinks, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh my God, that's me. I'm like, that was a fucking shit creek. That was a little shit ditch, dude, that I fell in. God damn it, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then I remember I woke up the next morning and I'm just like sitting there, like wake up, I'm like, I can't see anything on my fucking eyes. I'm like sitting there prying my fucking eyelids. I'm like just blurred. I'm like, shit. Oh shit.
I got syphilis of the cornea.
Oh yeah, and I went to the fucking aid station and they gave me these drops. I couldn't see fucking anything, but everything was just red and blurred. I'm like, oh my God, just these huge crusts in my fucking eyeballs, dude. And I think it was Nugget. I think Nugget fucking walked me to the aid station or something. Someone had to help me, but I got the aid station to give me the ointment. And fuck, that took a little while to get right after that. That hurt. That was bad. That one really sucked, but. Yeah, no, that was a good one.
Hepatitis C off of that one.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't. That one sucked, but What was your most besides, I guess, Doab, but what was your most memorable, like, I guess, fight, I guess?
I don't know. It'd be that first one's really poignant, and that's only because that was the first guy I know I fucking killed.
Yeah.
That was it shows the power of a machine gun, because it wasn't like fucking that's the next thing about this whole war thing. It was not eye-opening because I'd been in it before, but it just reinforced it that it is nothing like a movie. Absolutely nothing. I mean, you've been there. We talked about it tonight. You got some dude that's 100 meters away here in Iowa shooting at you. If you got a camera on, you can see that guy through your naked eye and you can shoot him without a doubt. But when you got a camera on, you don't see shit. But there in Afghanistan, we're running around with GoPros and we're looking at stuff, and I'm seeing things that just don't register with like anybody else that would be on the outside. And it was startling as the fact that when we got our first combat engagement there in the Nur Alam, or was it Paro'i? Was that the Nur Alam? Was it Paro'i? Oh, I'm looking here. It was in the Paro'i. It was in the Paro'i.
Yeah.
And just the fact that none of their tactics are anywhere near ours, and I don't know. That's when it was really driven home that just is not a movie. Because I'm shooting in air, and guys are walking into bullets. That's really what's happening. It's not. It just is not like a movie or a video game. It really is. It's luck or it's your number. That's all there is to it. Your number's up, or you're just an unlucky bastard for that day, and you get killed.
No, it's I mean, it's definitely, that's something that I think about quite a bit too, and it's like I've talked to other guys and stuff about it a little bit and everything else, and I guess like dealing with the fact that it's like I haven't talked to like Ashley a lot about this kind of stuff and everything else. It's like I don't know. It's goddamn. I'm trying to find the words, I guess, but there's not a lot of people that you meet day to day that have killed people. I guess it's like it's a small amount of people in the population.
Well, those that haven't killed people and not gone to jail.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like cops and soldiers. It's really about it. Or like your very small minority of self-defense that happens in this country that we talked about previously too and stuff. But it's like, it is like a weird thing to grapple with, especially when, I don't know if it's my age because I was so young and dealt with it young maybe. I don't know what it is, but it's like I've talked to other guys and they're like, they, I don't know if it like haunts them that they've done certain things or they feel bad about it. It's like, I've never really had that feeling of like feeling bad at the time. It's like, but I also never looked at the Afghans like that were fighting over there too. It's like, I never really looked at them as like animals, they're just different people that were dealt a different hand than me. And it's like, I've tried to put myself in their position too, where it's like, what would I do if I was in that country? I don't know. It kind of depends on who got to me first, whether it's the Taliban or American forces, who I sided with, and how you grew up and stuff like that. It's like, I try to just look at them as like people, just like us, that are obviously different because totally different world out there, especially when you're talking like Islamic states and everything else. Like they have a totally different mindset, but I try not to look at them as like animals or like the enemy. Like they were guys that were fighting that were dealt a different hand than me. But at the same time, it's like, I guess I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I guess how did you grapple with that? And like, do you have like,
feelings?
And
no, okay. I never shot at anybody that I didn't know was not trying to hurt me or my men. That's it. I mean, it was in the beginning, it was hard to decipher who was who, but halfway through, when we consolidated around the end of December, that's when everything started clicking together a hell of a lot better, especially when it came to like emotionally and like a sixth sense for me. It was like I could walk through a crowded market or I could be on the periphery of a crowded market and you guys are walking down through there and I'd be like, hey, watch out for that guy. It's 20 feet ahead on your right side. He's not good. I can tell you that right now. You know, I'd get the same radio conversation coming back. You know, hey, watch, I got 100 meters in front of me, a guy in a blue dish dash. Look out for that guy. Okay, cool, no problem. What do you want me to do? If he moves towards that building, take him out. And, you know, that was the kind of, even with Wink, that was the kind of communication we had going. And there was nobody over there that I either shot at or I know I shot that I did not have 100% confidence was a bad guy.
Yeah.
I just, and that's kind of how I differentiate it. That's how come I feel remorse in the sense that, hey, that live person is no longer alive. You know, I'm a hunter and I know that the deer that I kill or the animal that I kill, the pheasant that I kill, whatever it is no longer alive, but it goes on to sustain me. And what I equate that to is that person that I shot is no longer alive, but it goes on to sustain me in the sense that I'm able to sustain myself. I don't know. I have, when you talk about PTSD on that level, I have bad memories or dreams about shit that never happened, and it's fucking seriously hilarious. Stuff like I'll replay things like an actual tick that we've been into, but I can't find my fucking rifle. And now I'm like, everybody's shooting behind me, but I'm running down onto where they're shooting, trying to find a bad guy who's dead to take his fucking weapon so that I have a goddamn gun. And I'm thinking, well, okay, I'm either going to get his gun and fight for myself, or I'm going to have to fight somebody down here hand to hand, or I'm going to get shot in the back by my own dudes thinking that I'm the bad guys, you know? And while I'm down there doing that in this whatever dream, I'm thinking, well, you know, you can just go back there and hang out with them. And I'm like, what's the fucking point in that? You know? Granted, it's a fucking dream and it's fucking horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I mean, as far as like grappling with like things that we've done, it's like I've dealt with it in a certain way, and you know, the biggest thing is like you, it's like I'm fully confident that we didn't do anything that was more like really objectionable. I guess like we were always we had PID the whole time. Every guy that we killed that I know of. We had very, very strong PID. Like we knew exactly who was shooting at us, and we knew what to do. So there's nothing really there that I feel necessarily bad about, because it's like they knew the fucking rules coming into this game. They knew what.
Don't
they were
pick
doing.
A fight if you can't win.
Yeah, and it's like,
and if you can't win, die a graceful loser.
Yeah, and that's what kind of I guess helped me too. It's like, well, they knew what they were doing, and I knew what I was doing. I just knew how to do it better. Yeah, and you know, it is what it is. But as far as that, it's like the biggest struggle that I had was really honestly just like, I guess maybe it was my age too, being young and coming back. It's like I didn't feel like I did enough. You know, it's like, especially after Donnie died and everything else, it's like,
if I could have got,
you know, it's like, I just don't like, if we were more aggressive, would that not have happened? You know, would they have had the balls to fucking hit that wire that day? You know, it's like, because we weren't that far away from base either. We've operated in that area before. And it's like, if we were more aggressive, would they have had the balls to do that? Or what? You know, it's like, I don't know. It's just, there's certain things that, you know, in that sense, where I have a lot of remorse and whatnot, especially after everything came through. But it's like, you know, like you said too, it's like when it's your time kind of thing, and you don't make. It sucks to say, like we train hard, and we did all the things we could do, but at the end of the day, it's like
you could do everything right, but it's still that is still a possibility that someone's going to die. Someone that you know and care about is going to die, and it sucks that it was him. It sucks that it would have been anybody, but it happened. Yeah. You can't unring the bell. Being more aggressive on that one, I don't know. I mean, fuck, if we were more aggressive on it, we would have had to sleep all the way through that gully, all the way up to the school. And who knows how long that would have taken. Yeah. And would that have helped? I don't know. Yeah. If he wouldn't have let it off on that truck, he'd have waited for the next fucking series of soldiers to go through there to fucking let it off on them. And would they have been able to handle it any better than us? I don't know. Probably not. I would like to think no, they wouldn't. They would have shit their pants. It would have been total havoc. We'd been through it. We knew what to do. I was sending up as many messages as fast as I could, relaying through Dark Horse, relaying through BFT. And it's just, nothing happens as fast as what you want it to. And that's in a daily life, even here in the United States.
Yeah. No, it's just like, it's been a long time. It was 2010, 2011, when we were there and stuff like that. It's a long ass time ago.
Believe that? 12 years ago?
But it's just like, it's still like to this day where there's certain things where I'm just like, like as far as the dreams go, like I had a lot more like dreams and stuff. And yeah, like it was never of like real things that happened. It wasn't like a memory replaying in my dream.
No.
It was like shit that, like random shit, like is random dream world stuff, where it's like that. But, there's like one that was recurring where it's like, where I guess I was in Donnie's shoes instead, it's like that hit me like for a long time. Like it would come back in like different flavors of what, like it'd be me, like, yeah, I guess me there instead. And, but it would go on forever. It'd go on forever. Like words, like I'm like outside of my body, like watching everything. And it's like, fuck, man. I don't know what to make of all that stuff, but it's like there's times where, and there's other stuff where it's like where it'd be like us like bullshitting and stuff, like playing video games or whatever else. But like the one that really came back the most, like is just like in a different variance. Like it'd just be like stuff that never happened, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Like that's a tough thing to grapple with, and like the killing other dudes out there and stuff like that. For some reason, I don't know. And I like to ask other people that question too. It's because I don't know if because I've talked to other people and like they've had trouble grappling with their actions over there. But it's not something I've really ever grappled with. I didn't really struggle with that.
Like I said, everybody that I ever shot at or shot, I 100% knew they were a bad person because they were shooting at me first.
Yeah. The only thing that was hard for me to come back is like talking about it to people that weren't there, that didn't understand. Like even with Ashley, it's like I don't like. I still to this day I don't really like talking about it. Not because it brings back bad memories or anything like that. It's like I don't want her or anyone to really look at me differently. It's like I know they know I went to war and I did things, but it's like if I ever gotten like to detail with it, it's like I wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking things and stuff like that. It's like because I've talked to other people about it. It's like I don't want someone looking at me like because I like to think I'm a nice guy, but it's like maybe they wouldn't think I'm so nice or something. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Or like look at me differently, being like oh my god, like my fucking husband killed people, and it's like that's fucking crazy.
There's something that happens. There is a flip of the switch. There's a Jake Johnson. That's the Afghan Jake Johnson, and there's a Joe Williams. That's the Afghan Joe Williams. But the Jake Johnson and the Joe Williams from there should never occur here. Those people will never know the depth of the person that you are, I am, or anything like that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't think that talking to your spouse, your significant other, your loved one is diminishing you in their eyes about the things that you did. If anything, it should promote the fact of the things that you would do to be with them, not the things you did when you were away from them. All right? And God forbid they ever put you in a position where that kind of a person ever has to come back. Because I think it was, God dang it, what is it? I think his first name's Jordan. He said a peaceful man is not a good man. It's a man who knows violence, who can control himself in all situations where that violence never has to show up. That is a very strong, dangerous man. Okay? Any man can be peaceful. It's the one that knows that they can actually destroy another human being and chooses not to. That's the man you have to worry about. Because at any time, he can do whatever he wants to you at any time he wants to. God damn, what was his name?
It's kind of like the warrior in the garden kind of situation,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like
why do you choose to be a gardener and not a warrior? Well, I'd rather be a warrior at peace than a gardener at war.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just that's probably the only thing, because I don't know, I still love shooting and doing all this stuff and keep my skills up to par, just because of that reason. It's like you never know what's going to happen and everything else, but also along like shooting. I've talked to other vets before, and they're like, yeah, when they got back from war and stuff, like I didn't want to look at a gun for years.
No, I didn't feel safe with that one.
Yeah,
I still don't.
I was the opposite. I was like, that passion of gun ownership and stuff like fired even more so, because I literally, that was the one thing keeping me alive. Not just me alive, but I literally put into practice having a gun, and not only keep myself alive, but keeping my friends alive.
Yep.
Where it's like, that's what my attachment. Like, I know some guys look at that. Like, I've talked to people. A lot of times they're Vietnam vets I hear that from, where they're like, they don't want to look at. It was hard for them to pick up a gun again to start using it and like shooting it and stuff, because they're like, it reminded them of that person that they were at war, I guess, maybe. But for me personally, it's like, I look at guns as like, kind of a remembering of what it was to me at that time at war. But those are like positive things, because it kept me alive, it kept my friends alive, it kept, it was a tool that I was able to use appropriately in the right context, I guess. And that's where like it really fueled my fire to want to be a better, I guess, gun owner or whatever else it is.
During that Vietnam analogy that you're talking about, you have to wonder too, is that person the way they are about guns because they were shooting in the same direction as everybody else? You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're shooting over here, so you need to shoot over here. Was there maybe some kind of a, for lack of a better term, a heinous act that happened over there, like we've all heard about, fucking the massacre of My Lai and all that fucking shit, were they involved in a similar type scenario? See, I can honestly say that over there in Afghanistan, I never shot at anybody that I didn't know needed to be shot at.
Right.
And I know I never fucking directed my men to shoot at anybody that I knew didn't want to be shot at or didn't need to be shot at. And by the fact of that too is I took full responsibility when I told them to shoot at something. Mm-hmm. I knew that I had personal identification of what needed to fucking happen and that they needed to suppress that target. Mm-hmm. That's something that you got to think about when you're talking about the scenario that you're talking about. That's why I don't have bad dreams about those kinds of scenarios where, innocent people are being killed or this, that, or the other, that by my actions I persecuted or prosecuted some individual that was innocent and had nothing to do with it. Mine, like I said, really revolves around a lot of not finding my weapon, not having my nods, personal accountability of my fucking gear. I never lost any of my men in any of my dreams. I never lost any of my men. It's just that it's I myself am being delinquent or deficient of something, which I guess would maybe illustrate that I'm holding myself to just at least as high a standard, if not higher. But when you're talking about the whole Donnie issue, I don't have a dream about me being in Donnie state. I have a dream about knowing that it's going to happen and not being able to do anything to stop it. Mm-hmm. And then when it does happen, then I can't get my shit together to do anything to rectify it or to lessen the impact of it. And it is so shit like my radio's down, or all of a sudden I'm outside of my fucking vehicle and I can't get into it because the goddamn door is locked and nobody's listening to let me in. You know?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I think that's that seems to be, that's probably that's like the perfect illustration of the difference between a leader at the time, you being a squad leader, and having all of that on your mind, aside from me and my experiences and the stuff that like I guess I would dream about or look back on. And it's like I was always in the Joe's position. Yeah. You're always in the leadership position. Where
exactly.
It's like
I get where you're coming from.
So it's like that is actually interesting little, I guess,
two totally different
things, same experiences, but totally different totally different ways to look at it. I guess at the time, That's weird.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, because I've never really actually talked about that kind of stuff with anyone else before either. It's like just an hour I'm airing it out to the whole fucking goddamn public out here, but like here we are. But that's the kind of stuff that I've always kept generally. I guess probably I never really I don't even think I've told my fucking goddamn
That
counselor
was-
about it before, but it's just kind of like interesting.
I would surmise that whole mission was the biggest failure of my life. Even though I had nothing to do with that, or nobody actually had anything to do with any failure there. The fact that he got killed and that Gordo got hurt, that is the biggest failure. Because you can Monday morning quarterback that all the time. You can go back and think, we should have fucking checked that culvert. And we did. Boer and Nick walked right over that fucker. They looked in it. There was nothing there. This was probably the most perfectly emplaced fucking IED, and without any specialized apparatus or anything like that. And RCP had been over this road before anyway. Mm-hmm. This fucking IED was not in there just the night before. It had been dormant. In there for a long time. Mm-hmm. And RCP never saw it.
Yeah.
And, they got ground penetrating radar and all that shit. There was no chance. I honestly don't believe there was any chance that we were ever going to fucking find that. Mm-hmm. And that is the most frustrating part, is because you can think, well, if I was better at this, if I was better at that, if I could identify this, I could identify that, if I could have made my cordon bigger, if I could have done this. Well, fuck, you cordon all of Afghanistan if you want. Yeah. I really don't think that anything would have changed the effect of what was going to happen that day. It was just, I hate to say destiny, but, things happen the way they happen. Mm-hmm. But like Boer said too, after that happened, we were always good before that. But after that happened, we became dangerous, because every one of us took our game to such a next higher level. Because I myself, I was like, that ain't ever going to fucking happen again. And not that it was bad that it happened to Donnie, but I was like, it damn sure ain't happening in my squad. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to ever have to go home and look at anybody's mom in high V and have to put my fucking head down because I'm ashamed of what I let happen to their son. And Boer was right. We got really fucking dangerous after that, because, if you just want to look at the stats, the body count went through the roof. We lost nobody else. Yeah. And the body count, it was 40-1 by the time we left that country. And everyone there was a confirmed combatant. Mm-hmm. It is the proudest point in my life. And maybe some people say, well, you got to quit living there. Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
If you ever went through that would be that. I love being a Marine. Love it without a doubt. Love it, and it's a pride and joy of mine. But I'll forever take it to my grave that I was a member of the fucking Iowa Army National Guard and the Army doing that kind of shit in that kind of place. Because there are Marines that'll never do that.
Yeah. And when I went active duty, it was interesting too, because like going from the Guard to active duty, it's like, okay, now I'm in the big boy Army kind of thing. And it's like, dude,
nothing.
They didn't fucking know, They didn't know, and I didn't talk about it all. Like, I don't know. I'm not a quiet guy. I like to talk. I talk a lot, but I've never been a braggart. I've always looked at myself as being like, I don't know. I like to set the bar really low by myself whenever I meet new people too. Or it's like, I'm a fucking retard, and it is what it is. Then when they realize like I'm not super retarded, they're like, oh hey, cool. Hey, I'm going up. It's like, but
they can never look at me and say, what a fucking turd.
Right. But it's like, I've met braggarts in the Army and stuff like that. And I've never wanted to be like a braggart about that kind of stuff, especially because it's like, for one, it's like, if you're my friend, then I'll talk to you for sure all day. No problem. But I don't want to go around talking to everybody about it and stuff. But it's like,
well, inevitably somebody says, "Oh, you're so full of shit."
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
what do you got to do to prove yourself?
And then we're in I don't ever want to be in a pissing match about like, well, my deployment was harder. My deployment was harder than that. Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, like I heard a lot of stories from a lot of people, and I told some stories too, and a lot of people couldn't really believe it, but at the same time, it's like, oh, you're in the National Guard. It's like, you're a fucking part-time bitch. And it's like, all right, well, I'd rather be a part-time bitch that went to a deployment that we did, and knowing, like, looking at all of you guys, knowing, like, you guys wouldn't have been able to hack it. Especially as an artillery. So it's like a completely different world. But it's like, y'all motherfuckers don't even know.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it an active duty unit that replaced us over there?
No. It was Oklahoma National Guard.
Oh, okay.
And what's funny is I had a guy named Dustin Smith on the podcast. I've had him on a couple times now, and he was a sniper in the Army, and he's actually a sniper instructor now and everything else too. But he's still in the Guard, but he's in the Arkansas Guard. But he volunteered for the deployment to Afghanistan, and I was talking to him. I didn't know him before and everything else, and talking to him, and he messaged me. He's like, I fucking replaced you guys. So he's an Arkansas Guard, volunteered for deployment to Afghanistan, went to the Oklahoma National Guard, and he replaced us.
Really?
In the Scout Sniper platoon.
What did he say happened?
So we didn't talk a whole shit ton about we talk a little bit about stuff like that, but yeah, it was more or less the same, just different people, I guess. You know what I mean? I really don't want to, they did their job and we did ours, It's just, It was different scenarios when he was there, but it's kind of the more or less the same, kind of stuff, but it's just, they did have a rough go of it, and it wasn't their fault. Their platoon was legit, and I trust him. And he said, they did their job and they're good. They were good at it too. There's a lot of extra stuff outside of their control, though. We had a lot more control of our platoon and what we did.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they didn't. They had a little bit less control of outside forces, I guess, higher ups. I don't know, and everything else. I'm spitballing here, and the only reason why I'm spitballing is because I know, kind of that before I talked to him too, I knew they had a rough go of it in the same area and stuff. But I know talking to them too, I drove around one of their lieutenants for a while. I think it was their XO, and they had a totally different way of looking at things than we did. And,
really? See, I would, I don't know, that whole, I've obviously heard plenty of fucking stories, which were not flattering to them.
There's a documentary that they had.
Yeah, I did too, and that was not, from what I understand. I watched part of it and I had to turn it off because it was like they were throwing a lot of shade out, saying that this was like an active duty Army type job and the National Guard shouldn't be put into it. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
They were doing that on the documentary?
That's what I took away from it.
Oh, I didn't even watch it. I should watch it, I guess.
No, that's what I took away from it. And then, like I said, I just walked away from it. I turned it off. I'm like, I've had enough of that, because in any of that, they never illustrated that before this, there was a National Guard unit that went in there and was just fucking whooping wholesale ass. Yeah. But they didn't listen. And that's when they did the RIP, we were trying to explain to them and tell them, hey, this is what you got to do, and this is how you carry themselves. Oh yeah. It was always, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There was never a question. They never asked any questions. There was a question and answer time. We told them, go in there like a fucking hammer on an anvil. Just go in there like you know what you're fucking doing, and let it play itself out. You're going to receive contact in these areas and that area. Go in there like they're going to fucking shoot at you, and be ready to shoot back. And that was never the physical appearance or the attitude that we got from them. As far as what you were saying about the leadership and them not having complete control,
no, I meant like platoon
or platoon control, whatever.
I don't think their platoon has much control over their missions and I thought
that was phenomenal when we got back together and we were running our own missions and doing our own thing.
That totally changed the entire outlook of that whole deployment, dude.
Because if the battalion was to use us as the asset that we were supposed to be used as, we wouldn't have done a goddamn thing over there. Not one fucking thing.
When we were all split up like that, we would have been honestly probably just stuck not being utilized, being utilized properly. And when we reunited in all together at Merlam, that's when shit really started. Yeah, like you said, clicking and working together. We all worked better as a whole when we did,
because we never worked with these. We never worked with the rest of the fucking battalion.
And they didn't know how to use us half the time. Merchant, he tried, I guess, and fucking who's Charlie Company's fucking Gingrich. When we were there for a little bit, he wanted to, but they just didn't know. Yeah, they didn't understand how to use the Scout Sniper platoon appropriately, and they had their guys, and we weren't them. We weren't their guys. They weren't wrapped around the concept that reconnaissance and information in the battlefield is key. That is it, and that's how they should have used us. Is that their reconnaissance and information element? Okay, we've got this little piece of information, but we want you to go out there in your small element, and we want you to either confirm or deny, and if at a minimum, watch the battlefield and let us know what we're fucking heading into. And they never, none of the companies ever use us like that. I mean, when Delta down at, what was that, Zeohawk or whatever? Yeah.
When we went down there to do that fucking screening mission for
mess.
them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we want you on those mountains over there." I'm like, "Do you fucking know how far away those mountains are? You want us to fucking walk there? Are you fucking crazy?"
Uh-huh.
And they're like, "Who the hell do you think you are?" I said, "Well, I'm the guy that's got to do the fucking walking."
Yeah, dude, Delta was wild. That was a wild area. They were silly.
That lasted. Do you realize that lasted like 6 hours?
Yeah, that's
and then
crazy.
they're like, "No, you can go home now
Yeah,
because we
okay.
understand we probably can't do this."
Yep.
Well, good
Okay,
answer.
no, see you later.
Good fucking answer.
Yeah, nice knowing you.
I'm gonna go have a fucking Peter Wrap or whatever the fuck it is and get a haircut.
But when we reunited, and then having like, I guess being more aligned with like battalion and stuff,
Yep.
and doing when we weren't needed elsewhere, we were doing our own thing. That honestly changed the entire trajectory of I would say our entire deployment as a whole, as the Iowa National Guard there.
And that
like
shows
we were a very key element. I'm not saying this to like pump us up or anything, but we were a battalion asset, and when we were together, we did change the face of the deployment, I would think.
Yeah, that shows the impact of the tempo that you have on your small units and your small unit leaders. Because us as 9-man squads to include a 3-man sniper element, we were doing company size shit, Jake.
Yeah.
Company size stuff. We're doing this as a fucking platoon minus is what we're doing this as.
Well, DOAB was a battalion asset.
Yeah.
That was a battalion job, and we did it.
Yeah.
That's
That's a whole platoon. And we had a platoon plus, 15 A&A or some shit like that. That was sick.
Yeah, DOAB at minimum. If it would have penciled out the way it actually happened, and say there was like, everything was known, and I wasn't there for all the briefs of like beforehand. I just got the briefs from you guys, right? But
there was a lot
I don't know what
of
was
fire.
known. I don't know what was known or unknown. All I knew is that we were going to the spot, and there could or could not be a lot of people, a lot of bad guys, or there could be no guys. We don't really know. We're going to go there and figure it out. It's like, but if they knew what we were walking into, that would have been an entire company, at least, right?
When Bauer was given the brief, I'm like, do we have any more current Falcon view than like 7 years ago? No, we don't. And I kept peppering him with questions, and one of my last questions was, do you understand that if there's 400 on the ground, even a suspected 400, we're going in with 45. I said, do you think that this might be a feint to get us in there to eliminate a whole Army unit to have some kind of bragging rights? And he says, well, Staff Sergeant Williams, don't you think I know that? I said, sir, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't fucking ask you. Now, would I? I said, has anybody thought about that? And I said, I'm not saying I'm not going to go and my men aren't going to go. I'm not saying we're all not going to go. I'm just posing questions to you that need to fucking be answered so we're all in the same sheet of music, because let's just call it implied consent, okay? let us all know what the fuck we're getting into.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I said, you could have said the worst possible scenario imaginable, and that's exactly what we're getting into, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I was totally prepared for that. But I'd never seen the hip gunners and the tail gunner on a fucking CH-46 fucking open up coming into an LZ until that day, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Because you went to a different
nuts.
LZ than us.
Yeah, you guys were on the
you
north.
guys are
I was on the
firing
south.
before you even landed.
Yeah,
So
you were the first bird in.
Yeah.
They started shooting at you,
But
then my bird started
But we
shooting
didn't even
too.
know they were shooting, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And they're shooting the bird?
They were shooting at my helo.
Yeah, your helo,
And my
yeah,
guys
yeah.
were shooting back.
when-
250s up front and a 240 at the back.
Because when we landed, dust settled, and it was calm for about 2 seconds.
Yeah, it
I
was.
guess it felt like we got the dust settled, and we looked around like, oh, shit, this is wild. And then I remember, because I don't know, obviously I wasn't at your guys' LZ, but where we were at, I remember I seen a dude, and I told Roe, there's a dude up there, and he's like, well, fucking, we were briefed that everyone's bad guys out here. There shouldn't be any, if there's a dude
Sure.
out there, and I saw he had an AK slung, and I shot at him, and it was the first time the entire deployment my fucking weapon malfunctioned. I had a double feed. I'm like, God damn it. Right after I shot, and he went down. I don't know if I don't know for sure if I hit him, but he went down and out of sight. And I'm like, oh, fuck, well, whatever. Working through my malfunction right when I racked that fucker back. Kadoosh! Like, oh, fuck, shit, fuck. Oh, God.
Open up.
And then shit got wild. But I know I've heard the stories from your LZ and stuff like that, too. But I guess
They
for
cut us
some
off.
reason, that seemed to, maybe I missed that part or don't remember, but I didn't know that gunners were shooting on your bird.
On my bird, yeah.
I didn't realize that until I guess now, but maybe you said before.
And then,
I heard it before, but
like you said, when we landed, it was like, okay, everybody's on the ground. We're kind of cool right now. And I start separating my guys out. And then the North LZ, you guys started getting hit. And By-Rise and somebody else, I think it was a doc, fucking ran right through. It was basically like a little road that went between this huge mound of rocks, like where the two LZs are separated.
Yeah.
And I just like, well, he's fucking gone.
Yeah.
And fucking mortar started falling. So I set my guys up in a defensive perimeter cover to the south because I knew you guys had the north. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? What do we do now? We wait to consolidate. Gingrich didn't have any of our freaks. Jung had to go over there, and I would have never. I didn't tell that kid to bring it, but he brought that plugger or the dagger, or whatever the fuck they're calling it,
because he was the
Kit 13 guy. Or whatever. Yeah, he brought it with him, and he was filling that shit up. And as soon as I knew that he had it with him, I said, "If anything happens, the first thing you do is you fucking burn that thing." Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Okay." I said, "I didn't even know you had it with you." He's like, "No, I always have it with me." I'm like, "Okay, good."
Because that's what he's. I mean, he was supposed to have it with him at all times, but he also no. I'm sorry.
I did not tell him to bring that on that mission.
No,
and I never would have expected him to bring it on any mission.
Right. I shouldn't say it, not at all times. He was in control of it at all times.
Yes,
but yes, when we were like on mission, all the freaks should have been loaded beforehand, so we already had them. So there's no reason to bring it along.
Yeah.
But
Gingrich and Bauer did not have our freaks.
And honestly, thank God he did.
Thank
God he did bring it.
Yeah, exactly at that point. Thank God he did bring it, but here's a little follow-on information. If anything happens, you fucking destroy that motherfucker, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, because that shit's fucking highly sensitive.
Yep. And then after they blew the North LZ up and everybody started pulling back to the south, then they started shooting at us from that fucking radio tower. Mm-hmm. And Boer comes over to me. He's like, "Who's covering that?" I'm like, "I'm covering across the fucking river. I don't know who the hell's covering that." He pulls up. I guess that's mine. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, dude, that was wild. Yeah, I told my version of the story on working class and stuff. But honestly, it's like that mission alone could be a fucking movie, dude. It was just so ridiculous. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous because it's like. Dude, I just remember seeing dudes pouring over the mountain and being like, "Oh fuck me!" There's a lot of motherfuckers here, and I didn't realize the severity of the situation. I knew what I was doing, and I knew I could see the guys pouring over the side of the mountain. Like, there's a lot of motherfuckers here. Like, Jesus.
The thing that is reminiscent for me about that is on The Mummy 2. Yeah. When those bad wolf-like looking dog fucking things come pouring over the sand dune, I'm like, man, that looks awfully familiar.
Yeah, right.
I can't place this.
Yeah. But I just couldn't believe it. I don't know. I wonder why the fucking birds. We were escorted with Apaches in there, weren't we? Or were we not?
No, we weren't.
Oh,
they came in
just
later.
Chinooks.
I thought we had Chinooks going in.
I thought we had Apaches with us that were escorting us in. So it was just us in Chinooks. Okay. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember.
How long was it before we got air support? Do you remember? Because I couldn't remember when I was talking about before.
I don't know. I'd have to read. It wasn't terrible long, but even at that time, 20 minutes would have been too long.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. I'm like, when I was talking about it before, I'm like, because I was trying to remember and try to get an accurate guesstimate on how long it was before we got air support. But I'm like, it could have been 30 minutes. It could have been 3 hours. I don't really know. Because in that time, there is no real time.
No.
There's no comprehension of time. It's just, you got to do what you got to do. And it lasts as long as it lasts. Because when you're in that heightened state of awareness and stuff, like, time just doesn't exist. It's weird. It's a weird thing that your body kind of does. And I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's just like you're just so honed in. You have literally nothing. You can't think of anything else other than, I need to keep fighting until I'm dead.
Well,
or they're dead.
Tony and Jung and Mitch and all them are out there telling me, apparently, I don't remember any of this. They're like, "You need to get down." And I'm like walking around directing their fires, pointing directly at what they need to shoot at. You need to shoot that fucking guy right there.
Yeah.
And they're telling me later on, and actually this was actually back here in the United States that Tony was telling me about it, that he's watching bullets splash right around my feet, and I'm just standing up yelling at people. I'm running back and forth to that boulder to where we're at, because Gingrich doesn't have his freaks, and I'm trying to relay messages, and then Jung goes over there. And I literally got to a point where I was running so many times back and forth. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. They ain't hit me yet. Mm-hmm. And if they do, do I want to run into a bullet or do I just want to get hit by one?
Right.
Fuck it. And yeah, Tony was like, he's like, I couldn't believe you were being like that. He goes, people were shooting at you. We're watching people shoot away from us to shoot at you, and you're telling us to shoot them.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was wild. I swear to God, I saw Nick Williams blow up still to this day.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. I thought I saw splashing right on him. I thought
I saw Byrise get evaporated when he was running through the LZs.
It's so fucking.
I was like, fuck.
It's just crazy.
That's going to be a hard one to explain.
Because Chatty was there too.
Yep. Chatfield. Well, fuck.
He got shot through the fucking pocket.
Yep. Do you know that?
Right through his goddamn PC.
Who's that black guy that was there?
Dunn.
He got hit with a piece of shrapnel from a mortar that hit on the wall 20 feet from where we were in that Kalat. That piece of shrapnel came in, buckled in his M4 magazine. Well,
shit. He
couldn't get his magazine out.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to help him. I made him clear his rifle, and then I think it was Mitch made him hold the rifle on his lap and just yanked the magazine out because it was all dented to shit.
Jeez.
And then he started going to town on his fucking rifle with a file on a Gerber to open that fuck up.
Oh my
Mitch
God.
got it open up and kept sticking a mag in until it would go in, and then it finally went all the way in. He's like, here you go, and gave it back to Dunn.
Fuck.
Fucking ugly.
That's
it was
crazy.
Fucking ugly.
It was crazy. Was that when we were in the antelope pen?
Yeah, that was when we were up there. And then I shot a fucking law from out of there and covered everybody in sheep shit. I felt bad, but I felt good.
Yeah. Do you remember that fucking snake?
Yeah. Yeah.
How embarrassing would that have been, getting bit by a fucking... What kind of snake was it? I say it was like a pit viper, but...
I thought it was a Levantine viper. It was dark.
Levantine viper.
It was low light. I couldn't fucking tell. I don't think it was a nice snake.
No.
I didn't take a chance on it.
You stabbed the fucking cocksucker.
I cut the fucker's head off.
Yeah, you stabbed it with your fucking goddamn K-bar.
See, all you guys were making fun of me.
Oh, yeah. After that, I was like...
He's legit.
Good job, Joe. Good job. Thank you. Thank you for sitting there in your hut being a weirdo, sharpening your fucking Marine Corps K-bar the whole time. Like, I thought you were just doing it to intimidate us, but it came in handy.
The funny thing was that, you know, that scene from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom where that chick is like batting that elephant's trunk away from her.
Yeah.
And then that snake comes down and she grabs it and rips it out, and Indiana Jones is losing his shit over it. And she doesn't understand what he's all about. Yeah, she does. She's like, fucking elephant, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, That was kind of funny because when Foot was sitting there crouched down against that wall, this fucking snake is by his neck.
Because I was right next to Foot.
He's doing this.
Yeah.
He's doing this. And I'm like,
geez, yeah.
And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And then he fucking does it again. And I just grab him by his harness. And I'm like, hey, get out of there. And I pull him forward. And
because I was right next to Foot. And I was like looking around like, what the fuck are you guys doing? I'm tired. And you told me to get up too. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I saw you grab Foot and then slice the fucking snake's off. I'm like, oh shit. That would have been embarrassing. Yeah,
wouldn't it? I need a medevac. Well, it's not going to happen. Well, his fucking head's about ready to pop.
God dang, he died a hero.
Yeah.
He died a hero.
Do you get a Purple Heart for that?
Yeah, right? No shit. Probably not, but that would suck. That would be the worst. That would be the worst case scenario.
It would,
I'd rather get fucking
snake
mowed
bite
down
on the nuts or something like that.
Yeah, I'd rather get mowed down by the enemy rather than get bit in the fucking collarbone by a goddamn viper and be like, guys, help. And they're like, you can't do nothing for me. Like, please help me. And I'm just like,
anti-venom is
fucking done.
Anti-venom is an hour away.
Golly.
And they're not bringing it into this fucking place.
It's been 12 hours of excruciating pain and then dead. Or however long it took. I don't know.
Just liquefying your guts.
Fuck that. I've been like, I probably, if I know what I would have done. No. Because that wouldn't it'd be a version of that, I guess. But
just time to charge the enemy. Fix bayonet.
Exactly, 100%. If you would have bit me in the collarbone, I'm like, boys, take my pack. Give me one fucking magazine
me a brick of C4 and a grenade.
And let's go. You know, I'd fucking run across that valley and just charge the bluff. That's what I would have done.
That'd be a way to go. That would get you a Purple Heart.
Yeah, it would have
probably
been.
get you
And
a couple
respect.
other medals too.
And respect. Because like if I would have died from a snake bite, they'd just been like, damn, that was...
What a dipshit.
I watched him fucking just shit his pants.
For fucking
and
real?
Get gross.
A copperhead and fucking
Gross, dude.
in Afghanistan. God, you could have got that in Arkansas.
Yeah, no shit. Jeez. Ugh, that would sucked. But well, hey, no, we're at like pretty close on time here. Let's just go ahead and I think it's a good time to end it. Honestly, we've been going at it for quite a while, so it's probably already going to be a two part episode or something. I think, but I really appreciate you coming in, Joe. This has been a blast. We need to do this more often. I think.
Hey, no problem, bro.
Been really good. I want to get more one-on-one time with guys from the platoon and stuff. I have Nugget coming in sometime soon and everything else. I've had Roe on a couple times, but it's been fun, and I've had a lot of people like to hear the military stuff just because it's so foreign to a lot of people, and it's like it is. I guess interesting to some people, and even other veterans and stuff that might be battling other things that they've had similar situations and stuff like that. It's like I think it is good to talk about and like hear and know that you're not fucking crazy. I guess,
well,
or like
it lets
wrong.
you know too that other men are dealing with it, and they're dealing with it appropriately.
Right.
That's what you want to call it. So you can find appropriate outlets too, or reach out to somebody and find an appropriate outlet.
Absolutely.
I like hearing from other guys or telling other guys shit that they did that they don't fucking put together. And and it's shocking to hear the things that I've done that I've never put together either, And so maybe at some point get more of us together.
I think so. Maybe we'll do it differently than we did last time.
We'll hold hands and sing "We Are the World."
Yeah, I have more experience podcasting now, so I understand how it sounds better now. So, but no, I think this is. I really do think this is good, and it's good to put out there to other people because you never know who's listening and maybe needs, I guess, a little reassurance or at least maybe someone to listen to where they can, like you said, reach out and get help because it is. As far as last time I checked, veteran suicide's still pretty goddamn high.
21 a day.
So, it's like
and it's
still
it's
not
hard.
good.
It's hard to get the average person to understand or experience the war at a level other than a movie level.
Right.
And a movie just doesn't do it. Just doesn't do it.
It doesn't get the.
I mean,
proper...
I used to get my kicks and shit like that playing video games and watching war movies. But now all I do is I critique war movies as to what the fuck they did wrong and why they did it wrong. Mm-hmm. And video games is just like, I can respawn. Who gives a fucking shit?
Right, exactly.
Medal of Honor every time. Respawn.
Yeah, you can fucking. Oh my gosh, yeah. It's just it doesn't do it anymore.
No.
It doesn't. And it's still hard for me to watch war movies, not because of like flashbacks or bad memories, but yeah, it's because it pisses me the fuck off. Like, even a good one, like a really good one that's really really well done. They have good actors and they have really good liaisons that are in there talking to them about stuff. Like even when I watch those, I'm like, you're still not getting it though.
No,
you're still not quite. You're not there because you're Hollywood. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. So it is hard to get it right, and it's hard to watch, because being there and knowing what it's really like.
It's like having somebody else tell you how to do the job that you've been doing for years.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, what is your qualifications? Well, I don't have any. I've never done that.
I watch a lot of movies and YouTube videos.
Fucking great.
So I know what I'm doing.
Fucking great.
Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate you, Joe.
No problem, bro.
Coming on, man. This has been fun.
All right, thank you.